others who want
Good
to see.
idea.
So this session I'm having now is with this is a one-on-one session with her. So, but the contents may be beneficial to every other person that may be watching this right now. So yeah, before I started recording, I was just trying to explain to her that again, when I start drawing the charts, I like to start from the weekly, or some people may like to start from the monthly, but it really depends on if I am on the weekly and I'm not really liking what I see. Sometimes I could go to the monthly. So now again, Didi, you don't have to mute yourself. You can also always stop me and ask questions if you have any questions at all. So that's perfectly okay because this is your session. All right. Okay, Dick, Dot also joined in. Okay, it's good to have you on board, DK. So I'm just gonna give her a few seconds to log in. Okay, now she's on now. Hi, DK, are you right? Okay, I don't know if she's able to talk. Are you able to talk? DK, are you able to talk? Uh,
Hello? Hi.
hi. I thought you'd be sleeping by now.
I woke up and then I saw that there was a session going on, so I decided to jump on.
Oh, okay, fantastic. You haven't missed anything. We just starting now. So what I want to do now, just want to pick up a fresh pair chart and then just build it from top to toe to just have an idea of how I enter the chart, of how I draw the chart, and what I look for when I want to trade it. Now let's say I wanted to trade this pair right now. First thing I do again, go to the weekly, which is where I start from. You can start from the monthly, but I like to start from the weekly just to, if I find that the weekly is not good enough for me, I go to the monthly. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for just to see the highest point price got to and the lowest point price got to. Those are my main focus. So that's gonna form my decisions. So if you look at this, I want to put it somewhere here. I could put it there because of this touch, So I could consider this maybe some um maybe some form of stop hunt or what have you. But it really doesn't matter if I'm going to sell this market. If price gets into this zone is when I'm going to start looking for a sell. If it breaks above this is when I'm going to start looking for a buy. Yep. So that is how I roll. So from here right now, I can say that this is my next place to buy to. This would be my next zone. So it would be like, again, I don't draw it as a line. Yeah, that's an ugly color. Let me use blue. I don't know why I use blue. Blue is not my favorite color, but I think it just works well for me here. So if I want to buy, if right now I wouldn't be looking for any reason to sell this market if it is in this zone. If it breaks above this zone, I'll be looking to buy it. So if price breaks above this, let's assume price got all the way back and it breaks above this, this is where I'll be looking to buy the market. I won't be looking to sell it at all for any reason. I'll be looking to buy this market. Why? Because it's still very fresh around here, So right now, price is down here. So locate my lowest point to market, which is this zone, capture 3. So as you can clearly see, every time price came into that zone, it bounces, goes back up. So you can see it came right down here, bounced, came back down, bounced, came down, bounced, and then it might be coming back down there, but it still has a long way to go. So again, I can find other levels, like I see this level here, because a touch here, there's another touch here, I can capture where price is at this point in time. It correlates with some other zone and it really does, because if you look at this, it bounce here, and then something here, and something here, something here too. So I'm just going to bring this up so I can, because this is already done, so I can capture that level as well. Yep. So these are some zones that I can look for. Now, if you look at this, this is a clear demarcation of zones. Now you know that at this level you'll be looking to buy it. You'll be looking to buy at this level if it doesn't break below. If it breaks below, you'll be looking to sell it. Just looking at it from the higher time frame, it will enforce your decision. It will form your decision. You know, when prices at this point, you know that no matter what happens, if you start dropping down to your lower time frame, you won't be looking to sell the market just yet. There's nothing that will be telling you to sell the market unless you have seen a clear sell opportunity. And what would that sell opportunity be? A break out of this zone that you're in, because you've already seen it on the higher time frame that every time price got there, it reacted. Price got there, reacted. Price got there, reacted. You know. So right now, what are you looking for? You're looking for either a rejection of that zone or a break below that zone. And if it breaks below that zone, you know where it's going to. Your next zone would be right here, because that's although if you go down to your smaller time frame, you could see some reactions on places like this. You know, yep, there will be reactions around places like this. You know, if it's places as this place as well. And let me see how many pips between them. Yep, it's a good 100 plus pips. So you would definitely see reactions around here. So price may come here and bounce, So that's why you drop down to your smaller time frame to see opportunities to either buy back, because that's a massive move all the way from here. If price decides to go back up here, that's like almost 500, okay, 400 plus a move, you know. So, but all the reason why you look at it from your higher time frame is just to have a clear picture of what price may likely do, you know. So when you drop down to your lower time frame, you would know what to do. You would trade based on that decision. Now, this is where I am right now on the weekly. If I drop down to my daily, if I'm looking for a sell opportunity, let me just take this thing so I can. If I'm looking for a sell opportunity, I would have to wait for price to break below here. Right now, I don't see any reason why I should be selling this market. What am I looking for this market? I'm looking for a buy. More a buy. Why? Because of what happened on the left. What happened here? When price got here, it reacted. It bounced back. You know, resistance drop, then it broke out of it, came back in, broke in, then came back, retested that zone, and then jumped. So I'm expecting it to come back to that zone and jump again. That's what I'm expecting. But if that doesn't happen, if I'm going to enter this trade, I'm going to take this trade, then put my stop loss probably somewhere around. If I'm going to sell this market, buy this market, I'm going to take that trade, then it would be one of the best trades to take, because your risk to reward will be very low. You know, will be very beautiful. Probably put your risk somewhere around here. It's perfectly all right to put your risk somewhere around here, because that's telling you if it doesn't go up, if it comes down, then obviously it means that it could either mean two things: a fake out, or it's going into a sell. You know, but then you don't want to put your stop loss somewhere around here, because already the market is telling you that right now it's giving you a very low risk. So for you to put it down here means you're just not doing the proper things. I mean, you're not doing what you're supposed to. You're supposed to put the risk somewhere around here, because obviously it's at a zone. There is nothing on your left that makes you want to take it this low. You know, the lowest you can even find would be this one right here. So your risk would probably be somewhere around here. That's the lowest you are allowed to go to. You know, for risk to reward, this is the lowest. Why? Because it also protects you just in case it goes bad. You know, if you were somewhere here, maybe you decided to take a trade somewhere here, your risk would be somewhere here because that's the previous high. You wouldn't want to put your risk here because obviously price can, can go there. You want to put your zone, I mean your stop loss somewhere around here. This is very good. It's okay to put your risk somewhere around here, which means that if it breaks that, it means it's not supposed to be a buy. So if your risk is somewhere around there, you know that your entry will probably be somewhere around here, which will take you back. So maybe somewhere here. Why? Because that's your previous low. You see what I did there? Previous low. So if it breaks up of that, I know that it's probably going to the next previous low. These ones are not very strong, so I'll probably just look at this one. Let me see. So this might be my next low. So, excuse me. This might be my next low. So I'm expecting this market to go to this level and fall back down. Yep. But if that doesn't happen, if it doesn't fall back down, it continues up, the next level I'm expecting it to get to is this previous low. Yep. If that doesn't happen, maybe I'm expecting to get to that previous low and fall back down. But if it breaks above that, then I know that the next place is going to is this level. So I could do counter trend trading because I already have my levels here. I wouldn't buy from here and expect it to go all the way back up when I know that there are levels here that it may get to and have reactions. So first of all, find out what levels are there in the market as you're trading. Yep, I found this level, So even though I drop down to my smaller, my H4 or my H1 or whatever, my levels will be within these zones that I have created on the higher time frame. I would trade within these zones. If I'm looking for an entry somewhere here, probably a bullish engulfing, I haven't seen any reason to take this trade. There is no reason. I've just seen a small bullish candle here. For all I care, this is still very strong because of that what's it called here, because of that large candle that you can see there. This still has a potential of falling below, so I wouldn't take a sell yet because it hasn't given me a reason to say it hasn't broken this level. I wouldn't take a buy yet because I haven't seen any buy opportunity, maybe in form of what's it called now, a head and shoulder, which needs to be something like this. You need to see head and shoulder. Right now, this may be one shoulder, so you need to see some form of consolidation here to the upside. Again, it will now push to the upside and then come back to test it. That may be one reason for me to take a trade. The next reason would be a bullish engulfing candle. I must see a bullish engulfing candle. This candle here must either engulf this one or maybe form more candles and give me a good engulfing candle that I can take to the upside, or could be another pattern, like what is trying to happen here. Could be a pattern that may be forming, or a simple pattern, a triangle, or what else, or double bottom can't work right now because right now this has taken out this one. Remember what my rule for double bottom, it needs to be something like this. It needs to be something like this. This one needs to be higher. That's the candle. Sometimes you might see a double bottom where the wick is longer than the body here. It's all good. It's fine. It's absolutely fine as long as it doesn't close below this body here. If the candle itself, the body of the candle doesn't go below this, then it's still valid. But if this body, for instance, now look at this, I will consider this. Let me see an example like this. This would be, for me, would be a valid double bottom if this was on the downside. And again, remember what I said, I don't take double bottoms in the middle of trades. Double bottoms are reversal candles. So I like to see double bottoms in places like this, not in the middle. Like, look at this. This wasn't a good double bottom. If you decided to take a trade here, you will have lost it. Look at this, because it's not at the bottom. It's a reversal candle, So I like to see double bottoms at the bottom, like this. you know. So that may be forming, or a head and shoulder may be forming. Is absolutely fine. Whatever indication I find here is what I'm going to use to enter the trade. So right now I let this thing be, you know, but already I know where it's going to. It's coming here, or it's coming here. If it breaks that, I know it's coming here, because I looked at them on the higher time frame. So I marked them from the higher time frame. So even though I dropped my 1 hour, everything is going to be tailored to that thing that I found. So everything I do here will be with that in mind, you know. So all of these small movements would not really move me much. Why? Because I know where totally, maybe if price goes here, probably starts moving to the upside, you know, maybe gets here, I'm not going to be too worried about, you know, I'm not going to start saying, oh, I think it's going to fall. It's not. No, because I already looked at it on the higher time frame. You know, I know that it's still coming back up. You know, at least this is the zone I should be looking to take profit, not this place, because these are smaller pullbacks and what have you. The main pullback, it's not every pullback that you react to. It's not every how can I explain this? Let's assume, let me take an example from what one of my mentors. Now, let's assume we're trying to travel from England to UK. England to Florida, for example. So you're on your way. After you started that journey, on your way you've met some form of turbulence, something like this. You know, you continued on the journey. Again, you met another kind of turbulence, something like this, you know, and you continued. So when you got to somewhere around here, you met a massive turbulence, and then you continued, you know. So when you get to this destination, and you're trying to explain this story to your friend or your family member of what happened on the journey, you won't really pay much attention to this little turbulence on the way. What you would really tell people would be this large one, because that's the one that really caught your attention. The same way with the movement of the market as it's going. If you're trying to, maybe if it's coming back to that direction, you won't really be remembering this movement. You may have reactions to it, but you won't really spend time here. You won't really spend time here. This is where you would really remember. This is where the price will really remember. So the same thing on the higher time frame. So if I see this movement coming up, because if you look at it, these are all red candles. So where you saw a massive reaction was the first place you saw a massive reaction was here. The next one you saw was this one. Well, this had a little bit of reaction, but not as much as this one. I may consider this, but I won't really look at it as much as I will look at this one. Yep. So first of all, find out what price is doing on the higher time frame, and then use that as your guide on the lower time frame. Let me go to that GBP trade that we looked at, like this one. Let me see now. Was it this one I used to explain to Didi earlier? Let me see. Hope I can remember. Okay, I think this is what I used to explain to her. Okay, yeah. Now look at this. For instance, I had marked all of this on the higher time frame. You see, I marked all of this on the higher time frame. Price was here. Now it was at this level. Let me see. Okay, I'm trying to remember where you were when you had me look at the chart. Okay, I think, okay, let's just assume. Right now, price was here. Price was somewhere around here, right? Or somewhere around here. It hasn't. Number one, it's not at the bottom. Remember what my rules are. It must be at the bottom of a movement for me to consider it maybe like a double bottom or a head and shoulder or what have you. Now, if price breaks this level right here, if it breaks this level right here, and I already have this level here, whatever it does on the smaller time frame will not bother me. Anything it does on this smaller time frame, it broke this. Yep, it broke this. It broke this level. So anything I see on this level will not bother me. If I see some reaction around here, I won't really be concerned. Where am I going to? This is where I'm looking for the next level. This is where I want this thing to get to. So if it starts having reaction around here, maybe even let me drop down to the 5 minutes. So if I start seeing reactions around here, because if you look at it right now, you'll see reaction. If I start seeing this reaction, excuse me, this one here, I won't really be bothered. Why? Because it has broken this level, and I already made this level available. I know that price is definitely going to get here. If I start seeing this pullback, I don't have any reason to be worried. Even though it pulls back, it comes all the way, almost all the way back here. All I'm looking for, two things may happen there. It may pull back here and then drop, or pull back and come to test this and then drop. Remember the rule: it breaks support. It breaks support. It comes back to retest it and drop. Price action. So if I entered my trade at this point and price drops, if it comes back, I wouldn't really be bothered, because number one, I have my stop loss maybe somewhere around here. Maybe right now the best place I can put this will probably be somewhere around here. So that's the one that looks a bit more better to me, if I'm trading on the 5 minute chart anyway. So right now I wouldn't really be bothered. Let the price come back, either pull back or pull back all the way back to my entry. It's all good. My stop loss is there. I could do that, or I could take profit when I start seeing the pullback. But most times I let it come back, because if it breaks a zone or if it breaks a support, I know it's going to come back to test it before dropping, because I already have my level here. So that's why I said have your levels on the higher time frame. Then they would form your decision as you're trading on the smaller time frame. Which trade are we looking at right now? I'm in Euro odd. Euro odd. Where is it? Where are you? Euro odd. There's Euro odd. Okay, yeah. I'm in Euro odd right now. Yep. Now, on my higher time frame, I already have this happening. Although this is one of the poorest drawings I've ever made on this pair. On that particular one. Yeah. Let me see. I think this one's better. Okay. So right now on this higher time frame, this is what I'm envisaging. I'm seeing this. This is where I entered. Yeah. So every other thing that happens around here, would not really bother this trade. I'm only bothered if I entered maybe somewhere around here, because I know then it's going to give me a drawdown. But if I entered around here, I'm not really bothered. This is where my stop loss is, by the way. I think somewhere around here, either here or here. So I'm not really bothered about this trade that I entered at this point, because I know that when price breaks a zone, remember it was in that range. It's been there for a while. So if it breaks it, I'm expecting it to come back and retest it. Yep. So maybe this is what happened. So I entered a trade at this point because I saw that break. I saw this break. I entered it. I saw that break. So I entered it and I had my stop loss somewhere around here. So that came in and took my stop loss out. Why is absolutely fine. I'm still in this one. Yeah. But look at what happened right now. It's coming back down. It was what? Break, retest, and then it's dropping. So right now, if I'm to trade this, I can put another line here. Why? Because that's where price stopped at. So if I want to take another trade right now, I'm going to wait for it to break this level, come back and retest it. Yep, this is where I'll take my trade, and my stop loss will still come. My target will still be down here. So all of this, my target is not anywhere around here. My target is down here. Why? Because on the higher time frame, I have already marked it. Is it this one that I gave the 100? Okay, yeah, this was it. So all of this makes up 600 pips. Is it 600? Yeah, all of this is 600, and all of this is 900. So I'm trading this right now. I already know where I'm going to. Sorry, it's all messy, but it broke out of this range. So right now it's dropping. So I'm expecting this to keep dropping, and it's going to drop all the way here. So if you already know where the price is going to go to, you don't have a reason to jump in and jump out of a trade. So you could have your first maybe your one trade that you started from the top here. So every other one will probably just be maybe you're trying to scalp and just scalp, jump in and jump out. But once you already have one that you entered from the top, as long as price hasn't come back to enter it, to take it out or take out your stop loss, you're still good. Let it ride. Even if it rides for months, it's absolutely fine. As long as it hasn't come back to hit your stop loss, you know where it's going to. You already mapped it out that you have a head and shoulder here, a shoulder, a head, a shoulder. So this is coming down, definitely coming down. Yep. But if it comes back and hits your stop loss, it's absolutely fine. Let it go. It's just after all, you got a very good entry. You know. Yep. So right now we're in this one. I'm in this one. So I'm waiting for this to come all the way here. I would wait 600 pips. If it comes here, I'm going to take my profit and wait again for it to break out of this and retest that zone. I will take another one. I'll find my stop loss. I don't know where my stop loss would be because this hasn't created any price action. My stop loss is probably going to be somewhere around here. Then I'll write this 900 as well. Yep. So that's that one. GBP USD. Now this is another one that I was looking at. I think this is what I was trying to explain to T earlier. Now I had these levels mapped out on the weekly. I had that. See that move? It went up, went up, went up, created a double top, and then dropped. Yep. Remember what I talked about my double top? My double top has to be sweet. Like this hasn't broken up. If this body closed above this wick, then this would have negated my double top. Yep. But this body is still within this wick and it's just wicked. So this was still a valid double top. Yep. So now it came down and it got in. I found these key levels, found that level, found this key support structure level, found that key structure level, found that key structure level. So everything I will be trading will be within those levels. And as it continued, it created more price actions. And one of it is this range that it created right here. So if you see what happened, price got there, tested, dropped, tested, dropped, tested, dropped. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting price to keep doing that for the time being until it breaks out. And as it's doing that, it's also in confluence with my levels that are created. So I'm also going to put that into consideration. Now this is where it was at one point where I knew it was going to keep coming down when it broke this low. Remember, I know Didi was talking about a double top, double bottom somewhere around here. But the reason why I knew it was going to come down was because it broke this level. It broke this level, and because I saw it on the higher time frame. So because price broke it, the only other thing I would expect this price to do is for it to come back, and the highest it can go to will be this zone. So it probably might come back there and then further drop. I'm not expecting this to come back and start reversing. No. Why? Because it's in that zone. If it does that, fine, quite all right. If it does that, then I'll be expecting, it to come back and retest that. Then I will then buy. Yep. Then it means that's a reversal. It's trying to do a reversal now. And if it does that, the next zone I'm going to is this zone that I created. Yep. So for now, everything I'm working on will be between this level and that level, and also putting into consideration that range that I created, this range where price is currently in right now. You see, so it's all, well, it may turn back from here right now. So if you want to enter this, you could probably look for an entry. Let me see, but then it's risky because it could go even lower, but then you don't have any reason to put your stop loss too far away. Your stop loss probably be somewhere around here, even closer, to be honest. If I could say even closer, maybe here. So it means I'm expecting this to touch this place and then bounce back up, to the top of that range. But if it breaks it, it means it's going to touch my stop loss. And what am I expecting? The same thing that happened here, same reaction that happened here, this to break below and then retest that. And then I'll start selling. Where will I sell to? The next zone I created, this zone. So that's the importance of creating zones and having them on the higher time frames. So even though you drop down to your 15 minutes chart, everything you do. Sound gone? Can you still hear me? Oh Lord. Can you still hear me? Oh, okay. I think it's on your end, DK. Sorry. I think it's at your end. Can you check your end, DK? Because D says she can hear me. Okay, let me check status. Okay, I can still hear you. Can you speak? I can see that your mic is still active. DK, can you speak? Okay. Let me continue. If you can't hear me, just let me know. So right now, so everything I do will be within those zones. So even though I drop down to my 15 minutes chart, I will be looking at those zones. So mind you, you may come to the 15 minutes chart and draw more zones, or even from the hour, probably 1 hour chart, and draw more zones, probably for your scalping and what have you. Let me do that. You could decide to see, okay, I'm going to draw more zones around here, just to put things in perspective, so that just in case this thing decides to come back and retest, keep coming up, it may come back and retest this and drop finally to the bottom of that chart before finally jumping up from there. You could also do that, but it really depends on you. I wouldn't even bother looking for what's it called, a sell or a buy yet on this zone, because it's already very close to this bottom. It reduces the need for me to do a lot of analysis. Right now, I let it be, because it's very close, number one, to this zone. It's very close, number one, to this zone that I created, and number two, is very close to this trend, the bottom of this channel that I created. So right now, just let it be. Let it be. Now, where am I looking to enter this trade again? I'm looking to enter this trade. Let me take out the bubble. I'm looking to enter this trade if it bounces off this zone, or maybe I see an entry opportunity in this channel right now. Because it's been doing that. It may decide to, come in or drop a little bit more to coincide with the bottom of this zone. It may just do that. But what I'm looking for right now is maybe some form of rejection, some form of massive wick that will wick out like this. Then I know that, okay, that's a rejection that is probably going up, or some other bullish engulfing candle. But then I will protect myself, because I'm not 100% sure price is going to do what I think it's going to do. All I can do is protect myself. Yep. So that's why I encourage, you must have an idea of what amount of risk you want to take before you take that position. You must know how much risk you want to take in the market. Is it, if that trade goes against you, how much are you willing to lose? Don't ever take a trade without putting that into consideration. Are you willing to lose 50 pounds, 20 pounds, or 100 pounds? Is your account able to sustain that loss? Because what can happen is that you don't put a stop loss in place, and for some reason, maybe there's a rapid volatile movement in the market, and the market drops 200 pips, and you're not fast enough to exit the market. You were afraid of being stopped out, but now you're gonna lose 200 pips, maybe 200 pounds or dollars, or 2,000, depending on how much you enter the market with, or 20 pounds, depending on how much you enter the market with. So always have your stop loss. And also, if you have a stop loss, so let's say I'm taking this trade right now. I decide to enter here on a pending order, buy limit somewhere around here. I take this trade on the buy limit. My risk, very sweet risk. I probably put my risk to be somewhere around here. Yep. Yeah, my risk could be somewhere around here. This is where my risk is. In fact, that's quite too. And my reward will be this, or maybe somewhere around here. I can take it here. Let me put it back here. Why? Because that's the structure. I wouldn't want to take it all the way. So let me make that green. Okay. So risk to reward. How many pips? So if I enter at this point here, my risk would be, let's say 80 pips. Let's just say 80 pips. What would be my reward? Reward would be massive, almost 300 pips. So 80. Let's do calc down. Let's see how many risk. So 300. Hope this opens on time. So 300 divided by 80. That's 1 to 3, almost 1 to 4 risk to reward. That's a very perfect risk to reward. Very sweet risk to reward, I meant to say. So if it goes in my favor, it means I'm risking 1 to win 4. If this doesn't go my way, I'm only losing 1. If it goes my way, I'm winning 4. So which is perfect. So always have that at the back of your mind. At least maybe your first entry could be a 1-to-1, or your second entry could be a 1-to-2, or your second entry, or the higher the reward, the better. For my advanced patterns, I try to do my first entry to be 1-to-1 because of the stop loss, depending on where it is anyway. Or because of the X leg, depending on where that X leg is. So, but you can say your minimum you can enter a trade would be, you should trade, your minimum risk to reward should be 1-to-2. So every time you risk, should be risking 1 to win 2. Again, don't be bothered about losing 1 trade. Let your goal be on a weekly or maybe monthly. How many trades? So if you lose 1, look for another opportunity to enter, because it's the law of compounding. The more you trade, the more you increase your chances of winning. And don't just jump into the trade. Ensure that the positions you're taking, you've done your analysis properly, before you enter. Don't be afraid to take a trade. Take a trade. All right? Take a trade and then find out. And then let it run. You put your stop loss in place and your TP in place and let your trade run. If it doesn't come back to hit your stop loss, there's no reason, to jump out. Again, if it hits your stop loss, find a good position, a better position, and enter again. That's the way. Compounding is the most powerful tool in this industry. Compounding, the more trades you can have. So in a particular day, you can trade maybe 2 or 3 trades, and then move on. If maybe after 3 to 4 trades, and you're losing, then it means there's something wrong. Just hold up, just chill, see what exactly the problem is. Either it could be psychology, or it could be the market is just not responding the way it should be. Leave it and then probably look for another trade another day. Okay, so do you have any question for me? Any question? I want questions. Like, I'm looking at NZD USD. I don't have a reason to take this trade yet. Why? Because right now it's still in consolidation. So I already have my level set out. I won't sell this market. I won't sell this market until it breaks below this. I won't buy this market until it breaks above this. Because I already mapped this. So I'm waiting for this to break above, and then maybe I'll look for a good entry opportunity. And if I find it, I'm taking it to the top here. It may not get there, but at least I could drop down to my smaller time frame and look for good, good entry. Yep, good TP. I may consider this level as well. I may consider that level as a previous low that I found. I may consider that level and then look for another opportunity to keep trading. But this will be my final TP if price gets there. But I'm expecting that price to come back down. But if it doesn't, if it keeps going, this is my level here, or this level right here. Yep. So just looking at it on the higher time frame could just give you a full picture of what journey you're about to take. And then that full picture will be able to help you to navigate that journey effectively, so that you don't allow emotions to get in the way, and you don't make the wrong decisions and jumping in or jumping out, or seeing some things that you're not supposed to see. Because right now, I wouldn't really expect to see a double bottom at this point. Why? Because A double bottom would mean I'm expecting this to what's it called? Or did I say double bottom? A double top at this point. A double top at this point means I'm expecting this to what am I saying? A double top at this point would not be bad, yeah, because I'm expecting this to drop. Yep. A double bottom at this point, yeah, it won't be good because price would have been, yeah, it won't be good. It won't be good. Why? Because price needs to come from here like this for me to see a double bottom at this point. Yep. So I would only see a double bottom at this point if price came from here. But if price is coming from down here, there is no double bottom. The best I would expect to see is just a retest of structure. Oops. Yeah. This would be a retest of structure, not a double bottom. Yep, a retest of structure to continue to the upside. Again, double bottoms are reversal patterns. Example, what you have here. Something like this. Although this is a head and shoulder, a weird one at that. This is a reverse head and shoulder. That's shoulder, then that head. You can see what I mean. That head and shoulders, double bottoms are all reversal patterns. See that? And double tops are reversal patterns as well. Yep. So you see that. So this is a double top as well. See the move to the upside and dropped, picked up. Oops, wrong one. Picked up and then dropped again. Yeah, kind of consolidated, but you get the idea. But dropped eventually. Okay. So do you have any questions? I think I'm gonna do a conclusion of those advanced patterns. I'm gonna do a conclusion of those advanced patterns so that we can start using them. I haven't seen much homework from the ones I've done. So guys, I need to see homework. So if you are free, just try to get just work on a couple. Like now I'm looking at this GJ. Okay, doesn't have question as well. I'm looking at GJ. I have an overall bias. This is an overall bias. I want this to come all the way down here. Yep. But in the middle, things like this could happen. I saw an advanced pattern here. So even though I want to take this straight, I will have to have a tight stop loss. I saw this advanced pattern, this alpha pattern. So it may come here and then bounce from there. But then the bounce is going to be back to where it's going to be back to this structure, which to me could be a pullback as well, in another way of looking at it. So this could be a pullback back to this structure. But then it coincides with an advanced pattern here, a cipher pattern. So I know that eventually, because it's still in the sell zone, it may well come all the way from here back here, still in the sell zone. But if anything happens and it breaks above that, what will be my next level? You guessed it, this zone here, because I already marked it. So I won't trade any other thing. I would trade everything I have to trade will be within that zone if it breaks above it. If not, this is a pullback. I'm just trading pullback. This advanced pattern just gave me a reason to enter for a pullback, a few pips, then for a continuous drop. Okay, you guys said you don't have questions. Okay, I would like to, if you can, please, I would really like to see, maybe I wanted to say the advanced patterns as well. But if because I know some of us are still trying to learn it, if you can you do me a chart like this with a price action? Maybe you can just start somewhere around 2018 or thereabouts. Okay, great. You could do a price action for me of how, just map it out for me, both on the sell side and on the buy side. I know right now is 12. Is it 1 a.m. at Dotty's place? Your area. It should be 1 a.m. It's 12 a.m. at 12 midnight at my side. So I know you may not be able to do it tonight, but when you find the time to do it tomorrow, could just so price action and how, like what I've done right now, the movement, the buy side and the sell side. If the sell buy side doesn't work, what would the sell side be? This kind of things. Like something like this. As okay, this doesn't explain it. This doesn't explain it. Okay, yeah, maybe something like this. You see what I did here. So if it breaks below here, I know I'm expecting it to retest that zone and then drop. But if it doesn't break below, I'm expecting it to bounce off from here and then TP here or TP there. So I want to see that kind of thing. I want you to draw it on your higher time frame. Draw them on your higher time frame. And then when I see them draw them on your higher time frame, drop it also to your lower time frame. Price action, pure price action, without indicators, just using the lines, you know. And if you have the time to do the patterns as well, advanced pattern, that would be great as well. Thank you very much, guys. And just before you go, I just want to encourage everyone. I want to encourage you, keep doing what you're doing, keep practicing, keep studying, keep asking questions. Some of us are in multiple platforms, the other platforms as well. If you have people as well that you want to either help out, because the more you help people, the more it becomes part of you as well. Either help or ask questions as well. Just do much more, as much as you can. Keep investing in yourself, keep improving, do more. If you did something yesterday, try to do a bit more today. It is the little drops, it is the little drops of water that makes a mighty ocean. You won't become a professional overnight. It is the little things. Is it Lewis, that box? Is it the boxer now that said that greatness is every little action done consistently? You become very great, you become very good when you keep doing the small things consistently. Keep doing it, keep acting it. Success is around the corner, but you have to do the work. So I really appreciate everyone. Thank you very much. I love you guys, and I would see you on the other side. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and have a fantastic night. Yes, thank you so much. And Dotty, good night. I know we had to wake you up from your sleep. Good night. We would speak again. Thank you.